Hello everybody, welcome back. The Ouija board. For a piece of wood that looks like a Victorian coffee table, it's got board and learn the alphabet. The Ouija board has an unexpectedly well documented origin story. The tale begins in mid-19th century America during the height of the spiritualist movement. Talking to the dead was basically the social media of the era. Hugely popular, surprisingly addictive, and full of questionable messages. The Victorians were crazy about the paranormal and the occult, easily believed. But who invented it? The first commercial Ouija board was created by Elijah Bond, a Baltimore attorney who filed the patent in 1890. However, the man most associated with it is William Ford, an employee of the company, who later took over production and aggressively marketed the board. Ford is often incorrectly described as its inventor, but in reality he was the brand builder and hype master who made it a household name. So, why was it invented? Two reasons. Number one, to capitalize on spiritualism, Americans were fascinated with automatic writing, table tipping, and spirit communication. Number two, commercial opportunity. It wasn't created as a sacred artifact, it was created as a product. Kennard Novelty Company released the first official Ouija board in 1891. After disputes and reorganizations, William Ford gained control and founded the William Ford Company, which mass-produced Ouija boards from the 1890s into the 1920s. In 1966, the rights were sold to Parker Brothers, who later merged into Hasbro, the board's modern owner. So here's a fun fact. The Hasbro lists it under family games, which is either incredibly optimistic or deeply concerning. But on the other hand, it is said it is a tool, not a game or toy. The name Ouija supposedly came from the board itself during an early session, allegedly spelling out O-U-I-J-A and claiming it meant good luck. Whether that's divine marketing or brilliant PR spin, no one knows. So, moving on, using it safely. First of all, while the board is a mass market product, most paranormal investigators treat it like electrical wiring. Safe enough if you respect it, and a disaster if you start poking it with wet fingers, if you believe in it. First of all, choose the environment wisely. Quiet, neutral space. No drugs, alcohol, or anything that distorts behaviour. Stable emotional state. Fear, anger, and grief attract chaos. Number two, set an intention. Before touching the planchette, clearly state who you are, why you are using the board. That negative or deceptive forces are not permitted to engage. Paranormal work is like opening a door. You should specify who's allowed in. 3. Everyone touches the planchette lightly. No pushing, no forcing, no dominating the board. 4. Keep a recorder or notebook. Always log responses, behaviour or oddities. Consistency reveals patterns. Panic reveals nothing. Number 5. If anything becomes aggressive, movement becomes erratic, the planchette figure 8 loops, traditional signs of deceptive presence, or it repeatedly targets Z or O. often linked to malign entities in folklore, then end the session immediately. 6. Close the door properly. Never walk away mid-session, ending it as essential as starting it. The rules of the Ouija board. Here are the standard rules used by experienced investigators and occult historians. First of all, never play alone. You don't open doors to unknown forces without witnesses. That's how horror films begin. Number 2, always say goodbye. The planchette must be guided to goodbye before the session ends. Think of it as hanging up a phone. You do not want something staying on the line, do you? 3. Do not ask about your death, someone else's death, demons, anything attempting to identify itself as a deity. These are classic triggers for manipulative responses. 4. Don't use the board in your own home. If possible, choose a neutral location. You want whatever answers you get to stay there. 5. Never let the planchette leave the board. If it slides off during a session, end immediately. Folklore considers that a sign of deception or entity withdrawal. 6. Do not burn the board. Folklore says burning can release whatever energy was attached. If you must dispose of one, break it into 7 pieces, sprinkle with holy water or salt, bury separately. Or put it in a recycling bin like a sane person. 7. Respect the process. Treat the board like a tool, not a toy. Mocking, taunting or challenging spirits is a fast way to get into trouble. So, now we know its history, how to use the board and the rules of the Ouija board. So have you ever used one before? Have you ever had any bad experiences on it? Or any good experiences? Please let us know in the comments below your experience. We'd love to hear about it. We hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe it. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Remember, next time you use the board, please remember the rules. Goodbye.